Welcome to all our viewers of IKTV channel 112. It's now time for another edition of The Mindset. I'm your host, Jillian Cruickshank, and with me today I have a special guest. His name is Mr. David Ricardo Nedd, and you might know him by different monikers, the bucket guy, or the Ricky, or the author, the guy who just wrote the new book. But he has a few what should I call it, credits under your belt. Yes. You've written a new book, so he's an author. He's also a poet, and he has some new poems out, and he's a songwriter and a playwright. Yes, so he is basically doing it all at the moment. Now, we're going to start off in the past. For those of you who don't know Mr. Nedd's story, he's going to share a little bit with us, and we're going to fast forward to the present and talk about all the things that he has overcome that brought him to this point where he is today. Welcome, Mr. Nedd.
Thanks for having me. First of all, let's give praise and honor and glory to the Almighty. Without him, nothing could have been done, and he is the art and finisher of everything. And he originates and he culminates. All praise be to him. My name is David Ricardo Nedd. I was on drugs for a number of years, and I was homeless for a short while. And I mean, whatever I went through during the drugs, I mean, there is no shame, no regrets, because it's a process that God is working to show people how you could walk through a life. Mm-hmm. And by the carrots, increase the carrots in any goal.
Okay, so let's break it down and back it up a little bit. Now, I'm sure all our viewers want to know, and it's something I've always wanted to know also. We're told from a young age, not to do drugs, stay away from drugs. At what point in your life did you start using drugs, and why?
It wasn't no peer pressure, no crowd following, no problems. It's just curiosity. I was living happily, and I was living with my uncle in Paul's Avenue, professor. And I mean, I was admiring because he's an artist himself, mm-hmm. and so on. And I was thinking about doing different things, music, and so on and things. But then the friends came around, and then I started using, and then after a while he got to get rid of me.
When did he notice? Do you know when he noticed?
No, he was
that you using drugs.
He's wise. He knew. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the addict is smart. He don't allow you to say anything. So then he just waits. He monitor it. It's like a father with a child. Good then. Might hear that, but he will catch you on the spot. Mm-hmm. So I was saying, and I just go and use, and then he says, "See you, come out here, and just as he said that, it started raining. And he said, "Go out here," and then it's he is a one shelter, right? And I noticed that he didn't do it out of hatred. It's just he was hurt.
He was disappointed and hurt.
Yeah, okay. He was hurt because, and wow. So I said, "Well, why you taking me so?" Then after I would leave. Take me clothes and then that was it.
But where did you go?
Some other place, some person who accept you, and then you go there, but he don't find you out. So then,
So you housed up for a little bit.
Housed up, yeah.
And then did he call up people and tell people why he threw you out?
No. They didn't think with that.
Okay.
I moved from the slum a while. I went on my father. I had another house. Mm-hmm. I had another house, and I was living out there.
Okay.
That's because my father figured it out to that. Now, say, boy, you can't deal with that. So then a policeman went and tell my father, and years ago, man, and tell your son off. You off. Mm-hmm. So I went out Annisville, where he had a house. I was living there for a while and drugs. Mm-hmm. Got a job even while I was out there. And then I kind of cut it down, but I didn't stop it. I used to work as a security.
Okay.
And I smashed the car. And then, all different things. It started to go down.
Did the people you worked with at that time find out that you were in drugs?
It had to be because, as I said, I was going down. It's like when you started, you wait until a month before you was going to get paid. Right, like end the month now, and then when I get paid, the other security guard go find I stay in home and then call my car. I pipe in, I lick and shut. So well, they never complain about that and everything. But then one night I drive on the company's vehicle out to the compound. Remember your faculties, you just do anything, and that was it.
So how much of your money would you say that you spent on drugs? Like
all of it. They didn't hold back anything. Like you kind of secure your food, and that's the danger. At times that you go sleep early, like you wake up in the morning, and then like you make some money today, and in the night you have the money to buy, right? I remember times like this guy who I was living by. I used to go, and people respect the people still believe in you.
Okay.
So then that helped to keep a balance to send yourself, okay, boy, I want to pay to we put the money aside. And this guy, you see, as I borrow $5 from every morning. Come this is all you know. If you ain't, we should call it Pope night. Remember the Christian or the person who knows God would start with the Bible. That was me. I started the open night, and through that you might find a Bible and start to reach and so on. But I mean, that's just a process. I regret what I went through. I regret, and as I say, I was never like say on the street like sleeping. So I think one to 10 I might have sleep. I think I sleep on the income tax several times.
Okay. And nobody ever robbed you? No other street person ever robbed you or troubled you or anything?
No. What we used to do, like if you sleep in other people, then they attack one hour, that was just it. Oh. And them days police on the block all the time. Like no, and you're going to secret place that you know about, and I never encountered no.
At what point did you realize that you were addicted? At
what time did I admit?
At what point? Admit to yourself that you were addicted.
Yeah, because like you start saying like getting man, like the one you realize very painful. All the money that you made today, are you hungry now? You hungry now, and then. And then the money that you want to spend, like, through the day, you can't buy a meal, and you're hungry.
It's something that you thought about all the time.
Yeah, and then I said, well, that's about this thing happening tomorrow. When tomorrow, maybe do the same thing.
And what drug were you on? I think I forgot.
Crack. I think I used marijuana one or two times, and I was never into rum and them kind of thing. That was saved me too.
Okay.
Because you're like
that's a lethal combination.
Yes.
The rum and the.
You may be surprised to know that sometimes you meet a rum drinker, he more serious, he more he more crazy than the person.
Yeah, more volatile.
Yes. Than the person who and because I see people just drink and just aim on themselves, and when you crack out, maybe looking for another opportunity to make $1 to continue. Yeah.
You said you were never really far from Christ because even though you were on drugs, you still had the foundation, and you would listen to your radio and listen to programs. Yeah. So at what point did you say, you know what, I'm done, I'm not doing this again?
Let me add to that. I mean, I accepted Christ while I was on drugs and still continued drugs.
How did that work for you?
This is what going on, and this is why I learn about myself, to learn about. And this is one thing that especially should teach in churches too.
Okay.
When you come to Christ, you don't stop all the sins immediately, right? So like that, I was on the board, and that was frustrating. You didn't, it's like if some boy might place, I mean, I go still see that girl and I want to deal with she, I'm in Christ, what kind of Christian I could be? And I feel guilty knowing, well, how is it I baptize, and then I understood sanctification, which is a process. Christ,
exactly.
Yeah, Christ takes time to deal with you. We all have character defects and so on. And it's not late until I find it. This is why I write through the whole process, so that somebody would see, well, you can't beat up yourself, because you is all that you have apart from Christ.
Okay.
Right, so you have to believe in yourself at some point. I wrote some poems too, from Job to Providence, where it could strengthen the persons who, even somebody who never went to Job, because there are other ills and other addictions too, right? That it could be strengthened, it could be uplifted, it could be inspired, from a mind that went through,
Is there any one person that during your drug addiction that would talk to you and encourage you? That is still doing that now here today?
No, the thing is that everybody tried, and then at a point I had to be on my own and say, oh boy, I want this. right? And then when people see that, they realize they want it, they were kind of reluctant to like reassociate, or they were kind of like they were being doubtful.
Hesitant because they don't know if you're going to switch back and go back.
Yeah. And some people, hear the thing about this job, people say, well, I know people being put there for years and then they stop out for years and then they go back. That is where the thing, but sometimes even a person stop for a year, you could know that there's a determination there because the thing like the other person's Christ making the difference. When you're empowered with Christ and you fill with the Spirit, people don't see, well, no, you're empowered. And it's not about you. It's about Christ himself.
Okay. That is amazing. Listening to you talk about the change, it's an eye-opener and it teaches a lot because I don't know if everybody listening or watching would have the same strength,
It's in me.
To basically just stop or to even listen, because a lot of times Christ said he would knock.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to allow him to enter.
Yes,
Sometimes you don't even listen.
Right.
So it takes a lot of strength to and a lot of awareness.
I recognized so that there was something going on in my life, that the process was going on because like Christ cut you out from girls. He's a young man who are girls. I mean, Christ cut you out from different things. Change appetite, change the discipline, but then they carry to some crucibles. People treat you the same way because they recognize there is something there. You come off a crack on, how did you get this poem? But then, and then after a while, like I was going to church, and there was never a position or office.
Okay.
For sale, but you could go in church and then, like, we accept him and I'm counting, right? So then I said, boy, but he come in church, and some girl you see that he late. Then he functioning in this office as a deacon, has some office that he functioning in, So then he realized, boy, it had to be Christ. If you come in church because, So then I realized, what's happening in church, I realized, boy, wow, I had to be a leader in this. I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I keep writing. I keep writing, and then during the writing, the changes were showing up, and then the people realize, when you put on Christ, people like, pretense. I don't have to walk on the road, the Bible says, a change. When Christ is in a man, when he step in a room.
Yes, it's very noticeable.
Yes, and the man can't put it on. So it's Christ himself at work. It can't put on, not himself. This is why I remain humble and realize, boy, Christ doing something in me, and Mr. Humble, because I want to get closer, you want more of your presence.
Do you still struggle in terms of wanting to go back?
No.
In terms of what you're going through, like, let's say you're going through...
Even before you ask the question is no. Because, Christ makes a difference. I mean, when you truly give yourself to Christ, being in His presence, there's a point in your life you can't go back. This is the good thing about sanctification. It's the good thing about life. Like, if you had a problem and you put that back, you can never go back. That is when you know you're saved. Right? So how's the doctor, the vomit and things? Someone has some tendencies and things. Can't go back. There are character defects still, and there's things that Christ is walking out,
Tell us about your book. This is what I really want to hear about. It's been interesting listening to you talk about how you've come through and you seem stronger for it. But I want to hear about your book. What made you write a book?
No, what really happened was that, I like in the drug, I tell myself that this is the end feeling thing. At night, when I was on the park, I write, if today becomes tomorrow, tonight I make my bed between the sky and the grave. I have no pillow to lay my head, only the minutes that today gave. I live life step by step, and I'm grateful for tomorrow. Only to God I owe life stepped. His love found in a path so narrow. If I can this day relive, I'd make friend of an enemy. How precious is life when one could give is all to some, S-O-N-E, and let his son, S-U-M, become many. Now I become sleep, repenting for history's mistake, loving in my heart, I will keep, as if tomorrow should I wake. When I get up and I say, oh, this comfort.
That is amazing.
And I was wondering, this way, he was excited. I said, and it's like, the child puts boy, number one. I cry. God put the spirit in the crackhead. No, I've seen that as a tip.
Yes.
They know because I don't come through that. I look at myself and laugh at it. Sometimes I look at guys and see what they're going through. And you laugh because you went through that too. Yeah, so I started writing, I continued writing, and then it's about 14 plus years I have now.
Did writing help you?
Yes, it did. Okay. Writing is always therapy. Yeah, it's like, please let me introduce me to myself. So then if you're angry, Especially poet. He's right from his heart. You're right, and then realize, well, not angry. There's hatred there. There is lust there. It's like therapy, exactly identifying your emotion at the time. You say, let me deal with it. God forgive me for this. God forgive me for that.
So you had a compilation.
Yes.
What made you decide, you know what, I'm going to publish this?
No. I mean, people was always behind me saying you had different topics. I wrote about different things. Topics that you ain't thinking about. I wrote about the Caribbean. I wrote about like relationship, like forgiveness, cleanse. Cleanse is one poem too. Like it's a short one, but it's powerful. Like me in that scene. Let not how you feel interfere with what you must do. The trials of life are real. Thus, prosperity depends on you. Be genuine when you forgive, and your trespasses God will forget, so that you could peacefully live. The flaws of the past will not cause you regret. You read in the Bible, right? But then it's how we help to put it in words. It's actually cleansed, because if we learn how we treat others, it's just a simple do unto others as you want them to do unto you, right? And forgive others. Yes, because when you forgive, the weight is off you. And even the person too, even though maybe because just the guilt is within them if they don't change, right? So you release yourself and them. Because what happens with forgiveness? Anytime you see the person, the emotion come back from 40 years ago. Depends on what was the situation. The person is wrong you. This guy take with something from this from 40 years ago. You see them like 40 years and a day. The emotion comes back.
Okay.
So you need that cleansing,
So you had to cleanse before you write the book?
Well,
or writing the book was a cleansing?
It was cleansing. It was helping me to deal with, all the negative emotions. And then I said, deal with them. Then when you're at peace, you write to something, watch a sunset, some pretty girl that you love.
So you went through this whole book process on your own? No one helped you?
No one helped me. Nobody.
Oh.
And then I did some research too, not the researchers.
So you published it and everything?
No, not published. I mean, when I finished writing and everything, people, as in the beginning of the book, 3 persons helped me to type in. 3 girlfriends helped me to like the typing. And then, God has I write a poem with the team too. God has had people in your life. Because people want to associate with some success. They don't see what we could go this and them kind, because, people like that,
Okay.
Because whoever helps you, get help too,
That is true.
Yeah, because a part of you, people see something in you that you don't see in yourself. I mean, it's not about you all the time. Christ will show people there's something there that you don't see.
And he can use you to encourage other people.
Yeah.
So you said you've done the book. Mm-hmm. You said you're actually writing a song, or it's already written?
No, I write in songs all the time. This is just some of the songs some of the same lyrics, right? When I write the poem, I do that for the book. But when I write the songs now, the compile them on another flash drive.
Okay.
A lot of poems, a lot of
songs. So you have songs. Do you have a singer? Do you sing?
Yeah, I can sing, but the instrument part is, I haven't known yet. But sometimes I had the melody, right? Because sometimes I had this guy that work with in Paris. Let's work with him, and so on. Sometimes it's like my friend Frankie. Right. Somebody out there that could make a nice combination.
Okay, so that's what you're looking and waiting for basically right now.
Yeah. I understand life prayerfully. If I put God first, we know that already. Yeah, because on my own, how destructive sin is.
How now that you are sanctified, and you're working.
Now that I'm being sanctified.
Okay, because it's a continuous process.
Right.
Every day you need to rely on God for that same strength to continue pushing through.
No anointing from yesterday comes up.
Okay. With all the lessons you've learned and all the knowledge you
experiences.
You have, exactly. Who are you helping? Are you reaching out to people you have met on the streets? Other addicts who you figure, I can help this.
What is something? I mean, sometimes you can't help some people physically.
That is true.
There's something you can talk to them. Sometimes spiritually you pray. Sometimes you see that you pass somebody. Sometimes you pray for somebody all the time and then you say no. Right? You pray for somebody. But for your prayer to be effective, you have to be one-on-one in Christ. So sometimes you see the guilt. You say it ain't about me. I just want to be one-on-one in Christ because that person, I know the power of prayer. Right? Yeah, God unlimited. There's no barriers you can't break down. So if you brought me through, come from an abyss, why can't it be somebody else? So then I said, well, I talked to a guy the other day and said, let me get a joke. A time when I was on job, I left and go Kenya and my friend of mine. And then he said, well, you come King Yard and say, well, $5, man. I mean, $5 for the ticket. He said, well, if you really want to you really cook boy. So he gave me it. I should watch the can thing. I did the same thing to a girl when she was on crack, and to another guy when he was on crack. He said, well, listen, right now, if you asking for things, I'm going to get $5. What you want to do with it is your business. At some point, when you don't use it, you're going to be thinking. You could be thinking and realize what Ricky's saying is true. So if a lesson comes just to $5, you know, why not?
You don't think that's enabling or encouraging them?
No. I mean, again, listen, it's a psychological strategy, right? It worked with me and it could work with anybody else, right? So I see a big partner, at least the girl, she walking up the road and then she realized, I realized that boy, look at them. Like, she tired now, she body worn out, you know? She can't go to anybody sexually because she's tired. She picking up bottle and then she ain't high enough. Yeah, I understand that I put herself in their position, but she want hit, you know. You should have. When I went there, so I knew exactly what was going on. So I said, well, listen, I give her 5, right? You know, we ain't no nonsense. I don't, me taking advantage of none, you know. I just trying to help now. Another guy was there, said, Blakey, remember Blakey was there.
Okay.
Blakey off now.
Yes.
Right, so Blakey said, man, what Blakey you doing, man? If you get shit that you don't know, we go through that already. If you get shit that she going to hit again. I know she was going to hit. I knew, but it was psychological shit. So I gave she the 5, and then when she done 5, now she settled she mind, you know, she started to think, shucks, boy, this ain't make sense. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
But I with this, right? I hear what you're saying, but with this, everybody isn't the same in terms of
but
how
I did it because remember at some point, she realized at that point she was on the edge. Like I was on the edge, I walked all the way up. You understand?
Okay.
The body couldn't go no more, but walk and then you get the fight, you go on the road and thing. And when you don't smoke, you realize you kind of talk and say, well, this ain't making sense. Look, I just stood here. Look, I go all the way up the road. You know what I mean? You know. So I just want like as an introspection. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right?
What are the plans do you have now? To help others. Like, what is your mission right now? You've written a book. Mm-hmm. That's a great accomplishment. What's your next goal?
I want to help a lot of people out there. I'll find a way. Like every Sunday I go Kenya and to wash cars. Okay. And it's the same as one thing, I stay as humble as possible because even if I get $1 million, I'll be still the same person. Washing car, walking, you know what I mean? It's just the same thing. It's just the same thing because you have to sit down there to reach people. You know, if you go up there, then you're ineffective. Mm-hmm. You know, it ain't about you, it is about Christ. You go, you talk with them, you know, but you don't know cut-off point. You know, got times when, another time the same guy, I'll give you $5, and after I tell 2 posts and give the girl, and at the time I gave the 5 and the thing is something, you keep want food. Shut up food in this slum, so now, go to my Yankee. Right, so I give Yankee the $5. You say, well, you see, and when I get Yankee the $5, you say, you know what? So I say, well, I want money, I want this, you want the thing I want. I didn't move. Because I realized you could have asked for free money. Okay. Right? So I waited until he got it. Right? Because I went through that too. I could identify, I could empathize. You know, I went through that.
Well, that is quite interesting. And I hope whatever you set out to do, in terms of helping others, that you can achieve it. Is there anybody willing to assist you in terms of help you reach different people? Because you know what I think is a great idea with all the experience that you would have had, everything that you've gone through, to be a spokesperson in terms of going to different schools and talking to children and letting them know, yes, you here don't do drugs.
Yes.
But I'm here to tell you exactly why you shouldn't. Right. Because we hear it. Yeah. You know, we don't get full details. We don't really understand the side effects, the consequences of it. Right. But now somebody could you can go to a school and be told, okay, I took this path and this is what happened. Right. Yes, I came through, but not everybody's as lucky as I am. So do you think that that's something that you would do in the future?
Yes, because you just see the importance of Christ in your life, you know, Christ in the early stages in your life. Like, I know many people started going Sunday school or Sabbath school, whichever church you're in, right? And when they reach like a particular some kind of type of relationship, like you realize, well, boy, nah, boy, I heard of Jesus saving thing. I remember this 100 sheep that he had and one had lost. And then you see what the love of Christ extreme, it goes beyond to retrieve. Right? Christ could do this for me. That foundation. Well, on the Bible story here about Daniel, here about Jonah, and the God is real. At some point, Christ is revealed himself to you in your life. And you say, I got to get back there. But what about the apostles who never had that foundation, who never knew about Christ, and so on? Sometimes people look at your life. And we see that Paul himself says here, we are like the living testimony, living Bible. You don't know how much people you could lead to hell or encourage to heaven. Because if you say you're in Christ and you have to live a particular way,
yes.
And despite all the crucibles, some negative will come. Because the enemy, you go out and say, boy, the enemy want me back there. He want to mess up your testimony so that you'll be ineffective. Right? What kind of book you writing about heal and thing, and he's looking for you to do something to mess up so that you can nullify the power that you won't reach anybody else. So all that is important. That I take that seriously. I have to be one-on-one with Christ. It's never about me.
Ricardo, thank you so much for talking with us. Is there anything that you'd like to share before you go home?
Well, there's a song I would like to share, coming along the same line, but Christ, we could do nothing without Christ. And for everybody out there, I mean, I ain't better than anybody else. I ain't different. I'm different in many ways, but Christ is who make a difference. When you surrender to Christ, yes, so much He could do in you. And regardless of what negative situations you are in, there are people now going home where they're being molested, people on jobs, that is the norm now. Are you all on a job and then the boss calls do anything, that is the norm now. But it's not right. Right? People in some circumstances that are pay the rent and the amount of negotiation that goes on, the compromise and go on. So everybody has a problem, right? All those problems can be reached by Christ. You just have to put him in the situation and they walk through it.
What's the name of your song? Are you going to read it?
Yes, I read it.
Okay.
This one is just in time. It's just that some ways in which Christ could help you in some situation. She was in the limelight. The name of the poem is, the name of the song is Just in Time. She was in the limelight, living on the Broadway, but the pleasures of the nightlife was quickly fading away. She was now infected, and all could see the signs. But the God she rejected was just in time. Chorus, when I thought of giving up, Jesus held out his hand. God's love would never stop because he valued the souls of men. Second, the silence in the courtroom waited for the judge to speak. The verdict must be soon. He's innocent, but felt weak. The false witnesses' hatred had accused of a crime, but the judge who dismissed it was just in time. And I go back to the chorus, when I thought of giving up. Thought he was told that riches sometimes do have wings, but he chose to doubt it until he lost everything. He had read the Bible and did not lose his mind because God was able, was just in time. When I thought of giving up, okay, I'll do the last verse. They had vowed that forever they would always belong, but he had found another to sing like love song. Why would God allow this? She said, life is unkind, but God who had promised was always on time. Chorus, when I thought of giving up, Jesus held out his hand. God's love would never stop because he values the soul of men.
That is so beautiful. What inspired that?
It's just, you look at the experiences that I had, right, with people, and with all experiences that people have with suffering with, and just
the words just come to you.
Just come to him. But I look at some circumstances where Christ have delivered people, and it was just in time for them. Right? As it's sure I haven't found the melodies there, but I ain't get a musician yet, so I walk out.
I hear you. I hope from people watching this program that somebody would reach out to you and say, I want that song. Yeah.
I was supposed to launch a book at the library, but I didn't because the books were not, they were saying that we had a few books out, like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
Okay.
But those weren't enough. If you're going to do a launch and when people come to our launch, you can't just have 4 books and things.
That is true.
That don't make sense.
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate the fact that they help now. They're trying to help, given the space, and they were trying to promote and stuff.
Thank you so much for talking to me, Ricky. Should I call you David? I mean, because with a new life,
Ricky.
I guess becomes a new name. Some people are different.
I mean, the difference is within us. Christ made the difference.
That's awesome. Ricky,
Yeah.
thank you so much for talking with us.
Yes.
And I hope our viewers learn so much
Other
more
things,
than
I mean,
just-
if I would need some sponsors, definitely some sponsors, because when you're just starting out in the art, you need some sponsors. And the millionaires started with somebody believing in them and helping them. Yeah, so you need some help.
Okay, so again, thank you for talking with us.
Yes.
We do appreciate you taking your time out of your schedule and sharing your story. And it is a wonderful story where you have overcome some of the darkest places that one could find
Yes.
themselves.
Yes.
Only you and people who have gone through what you've gone through
Yeah.
would actually really understand. So we want to thank you so much and all the best to you.
And just imagine this. Imagine if that left me there, then they want to realize that I was a playwright, a songwriter, a poet, the author. You know,
Okay.
so then you see the importance in investing in somebody who down there, because you never know. You never know. Everybody has their own giftings.
I want to thank all our viewers for joining us today on this edition of Mindset. I hope you're enjoying our program, and I invite you to tune in once more next time on IKTV, channel 112, where it's all about you.